Hello, welcome. Today's going to be part 2 from Tuesday. So we watched Iyanna and Jarrette not do a good job talking together, having a serious conversation.
We'll link to that clip in the show notes.
Oh yeah, we'll put those. Yeah, perfect. And I had a couple things in this new part 2 phase that I wanted to share about the energetics of being with someone who you want to be different. So it's something that I learned from my energy teacher, Shiraz, from our modalities called energetic magic. And he talks about how when you let yourself be with the person that they are, instead of, and I think women do this more, I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong, he would be so perfect if. So we would have just the most amazing relationship when he figures out, or as soon as he changes, then I'll.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why are you with that person in the first place? Like, what is it? Maybe it's a bunch of different things, but if there's a kind of a key piece missing, why are you in that relationship with them?
That might be a bigger question than why do women want to fix things? Why do we like the idea of being, I think there's a bit of a fantasy about being this special one that he will become a better man for.
Oh.
I think that happens sometimes.
I can sense why that would be compelling.
And I think that there's also he's the man I have. Like there's sort of like the dating for a little while, and then it's like, oh, well, I really like these parts. Why not ask for this other part to be better? So here's the offer that I'm giving today is kind of a little bit what you're alluding to, that if you will only really love him like all the way, if he changes things, then maybe you shouldn't be in the relationship. Which can feel really uncomfortable. But to some degree, what it does create is it creates spaciousness as opposed to have to. So if I was only willing to be with Matt, if he could feel that I needed, I don't know, 3 date nights a week, let's just do something big. Or I don't know. Anyway, I'll just go with that one. So if I needed 3 date nights a week, and so he could feel me gunning for it. Oh, we'd have such a great relationship if we had 3 dates a week and he could feel like my pressure that I had to have it. That makes the relationship, the energy in the relationship gets pressurized. It's not open to, wouldn't it be amazing? It's like, no, we have to have that for us to have a great relationship. Why don't we have that yet? You want that, don't you? I mean, wouldn't it be so much better?
Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that face that I do and it's really icky.
Doesn't feel good.
No.
Yeah.
So would it be lovely if we had this thing that I want? Yes, but here's the energetic, bizarre paradox, is that if I'm okay not having it, it actually creates more space to have it. Isn't that weird? But it's true. I don't know why. It's just true that when you aren't attached, that's sort of the coach speak, is you're sort of detached from the outcome, then you let yourself be on the journey of discovering it instead of requiring it.
Yeah.
Hearing you feeling that?
Yeah. And something's just come up, something that you struggle with when I talk about it.
Okay.
Which is with needs.
We have big talks about needs.
And so, yeah, it's
you have to tell them more why we give your opinions about needs.
So, everybody sit down. So it's okay. It is okay to ask for what you want in a relationship, absolutely, and it is possible for people to change, and it is possible to call our partners forward and to be called forward. Who knows what might happen? We may not continue to find our way together, but it's okay to make these asks. And so needs, like in my teaching, there's preferences, there's needs, and there's a higher level of non-negotiable needs. And sometimes quite often actually, people get into relationships where they haven't really identified what their non-negotiable needs are, and so they become attached to their partner, and there's this big looming fucking thing that's just not getting resolved and becomes a wedge and a constant battleground between them. So a non-negotiable need, I mean, it could be like I need three date nights a week could be a non-negotiable need. There can be other, like the big ones are like I want to have a family. Like that's really important for me to have children. And that could be the woman or the man saying that.
On the ultimatum, how much money they made came up.
How much money they can make, or I want to be a stay-at-home mum. If we have kids, I want to be a stay-at-home mum. Or it's really important for me that I live close to my parents. So
or sex 3 times a week.
Yes, hang on a second.
Oh, sorry.
So so we either have to like move to where they are, or we can't move from where we live now because we live close to my parents. Like sex as well. So it's so I want to say liberating or clarifying to have a sense of certainly what those big needs are that you have, and be clear about them as you carry yourself into a relationship, because you may adore somebody, but it can be really helpful early on if he's like, you know what, my career's here and my career is really important to me. Like, I love you folks, but my kind of world is here and my future is here, and I would love it if we could make our future here together. And for her, she's saying, I love you, I adore you, and I do need to be near my parents. And it can feel the heartbreak in that. But that dealing with that heartbreak might in the long run be better than living with this sort of constant tussle of, hey, but if you loved me, then you would. If you love me, then you would. That's not good. Know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And so you can start to feel how the language that Iyanna and Jarrette had wasn't quite as, I don't even know what to call it, but wasn't language that landed super well with me. So there was a married life has to look a certain way language. And you and I were talking about it. I was like, people create lives that have you going out 4 or 5 or 6 nights a week. Like, it is not required to have married life a certain way. The two of you get to create what you want your life together to look like. So I didn't appreciate how she conflated married life with how she liked it.
Was like, you're never going out again, Jarrette. I think that's such a beautiful way of thinking about it, and maybe even posing the question, which is not like kind of like, when are you going to grow up and stop going out, but what kind of life do we want to create together? What are the elements that are
in...
what are the elements that look like a good life for you? What are the elements that look a good life for me? Where can we agree, and where can we compromise? Where might not we be able to compromise? And let's let's fucking have that difficult conversation. But to look at it that way, like, what's the space that we want to create together? Because that feels really juicy.
So let's just hear it again. So I need 3 nights a week of dating. So when, that would be really good, right? So when are we going to do that? So I'm really needing that. So why haven't you done that for me yet? Feel that energy versus
feeling it right now.
So let that unwind, take a breath, shake it off, and then be like, I want our life together to include going out. I'd like to do that. I want going out as part of our life together. What do you want in our life together? What would be some ways that we could balance that? I'm noticing that you're maybe a bit more of an introvert than me. Like, you like some time alone. How can we balance that? How can we look at that together?
Yeah. And then we could explore, like, for you, what going out means. Because in my mind, I might be like, oh, you want to go to a club 3 nights a week? And I'm like, I'm not like, that's maybe once a month I can do that. But what?
I'm just so not cool. I'm really not.
But you're gorgeous, and that's what matters most. what does going out 3 nights a week like? Because maybe there's a version that works for me as well. Like maybe what I'm imagining you want when you say that is actually different from what would work for you and us.
That's so profound because, yeah, I'm really into this word conflated right now. It's like when a whole bunch of things get smushed together. So his going out, Jarrette's going out, was with his guy friends, out to like felt like loud
Clubs,
places,
getting
felt loud,
tanked up.
and getting super hammered.
Yeah.
So which of those things is actually important? Is it spending time with his guy friends? Is it the drinking? Because if you need a lot of alcohol in your life in order to feel like you're enjoying your life, that's something to look at. There's nothing wrong with alcohol, but if you need it, then that's starting to be more of an addiction. If you're trying to escape your life, right, by having loud music and like just shaking it all off, that's something like what need is being fulfilled, and then maybe you can find more ways to be doing that together or enjoying. I remember reading a book once and just let that dangle, enjoying doing different things, not together. Like that's okay too. Like, wouldn't it be lovely if he leaves her lovingly in the bath, eating sushi and drinking wine and reading a book, and she's ecstatically happy. And he gets to go like dance his ass off and like listen to loud music and like get his sweat on with his boys. Like, that's okay. It doesn't have to be him abandoning her or him not loving her. It's how you weave the things together.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
And knowing and accepting what's important to one another and respecting those things can. So if, for instance, like in that scenario that you just painted with Jarrette and Iyanna, like if he knows that time alone is really kind of luscious and nurturing for her, then he's kind of giving her a gift by giving her that time in a way, and she's giving him a gift by letting, like saying, fairly well, have a great evening with your boy. So it's sort of like there's a kind of a mutual understanding there. It's not her just like, okay, this is the night that Jarrette goes out with his boy. It's like, oh, it's a night that I get to really luxuriate in my own company, and if that's part of his understanding, really, really beautiful.
And like you were talking about needs before, that would be blended with them having their relationship tank be filled in another way, another time. And also that there would be sort of respect, how does she fall asleep? What time is he coming home? How does he stay in touch with her? Sort of respecting the dynamics of how life does flow with having bedtimes, and I have sleep trauma, so sleep is a big thing, and navigating that makes a big impact on people's lives. So that could be a place to have it weave together without a burden. I think that was it. That was part 2.
That was part 2.
If you liked this part 2 idea where we just sort of talk on another peripheral thing, please let us know if you liked it. And as always, like and subscribe. And we're looking forward to next week, so we have some good things planned.
Oh. Bye.